Revelation 21. Paul tells us in 1 Corinthians chapter 11 that when we come together to take the Lord's Supper, we are doing so in remembrance of Christ. And when we do so, we are also proclaiming his death until he comes. And so now, as we look here at Revelation chapter 21, we're going to be looking to the future. So oftentimes what we think of when we think of the death of Christ and the work of Christ and what he has done, we think of our justification. We think of many of the things which Gary just told us. We think of this new relationship that we have now with the Creator and this intimacy that we can now have with him and our sanctification. We think of coming from death into life, and those are all wonderful things. But it is also helpful for us to look to the future and consider the full scope of what his death brings us. And so Revelation chapter 21, these are the things that are going to be coming as a result of Jesus' death, not only to purchase his people, but in reconciling all things to himself. This is especially helpful, I think, because this is something that brings us a peace and a hope when the realities of this sinful world become more evident to us. It has been said by many people, and I think it's true, that because of the world that we live in and because of the advancements that we have with medicine and even travel and communication, oftentimes the effects of the curse in our current day can be veiled to a certain extent. They can be held back in some ways that weren't so hundreds or even thousands of years ago. It doesn't mean that we're without the curse. It just means that oftentimes we can live in a way which make them not so evident to us on a day-to-day basis. But they are evident to us, and they do come up often. And when they do, we need to be able to remember that the death of Christ is not helpful and relevant and good for us only now, but also in the future. And so here, Revelation chapter 21, this is a look into the future. This is a look of the things that will be made new. The Apostle John, writing what he sees in a vision, says, "I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth passed away, and there is no longer any sea. And I saw the holy city, the new Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, made ready as a bride, adorned for her husband." And so the first thing that we see here is a new creation. This is telling us that even of the best things that we have now in this life, even of the best that heaven and earth have to offer us, the many common graces of God that we do get to enjoy, they are only a taste of what is to come. The good things that we have now will be infinitely better. This is a wonderful hope for us. The death of Christ will renew the cosmos, and it will do away with the curse upon the earth itself and all that is on the earth, and upon the stars and upon their moons and upon the heavenly bodies that are trillions of light years away that no man will even become aware of until the coming age. And it will heal the unseen elemental forces in this universe and every single one of their atoms and their electrons. This will be a thorough making new of the things that we love now and of the things, a ridding of the things that we do not love. John also tells us that the tabernacle of God will be among men, and he will dwell among them, and they shall be his people, and God himself will be among them. What we see here is a restoration of what Adam and Eve had in Eden, but even greater. This will be God living and dwelling among his people, and us being able to see him and to know him and to understand him in a way that has not yet been done, even with Adam and Eve. And at this time, there will be no veil in the temple to separate us from the glory of God. There won't need to be any sacrifices to be made to purify ourselves before God. We will see him in all of his glory. We will dwell with him. We will live with him, and we will know him in a wonderful way that we can't even understand now. We will be his people, and he will be our God, and he will be among us. John then says, he will wipe away every tear from their eyes, and there will no longer be any death. There will no longer be any mourning or crying or pain, because the first things have passed away. This might be something that we understand most intimately now. The tears and the suffering and the mourning and the pain, whether it be physical or emotional or spiritual. This is some of the effects of the curse that we most intimately understand now. And he says, these things will be a foggy memory. There will be a time in eternity with the Lord that we will hardly be able to remember these things. They will be foreign to us. And so he says, behold, I am making all things new. And he said, write, for these words are faithful and true. And then he said to me, they are done. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. I will give to the one who thirsts from the spring of the water of life without cost. He who overcomes will inherit these things, and I will be his God, and he will be my son. We remember when we were going through 1 Peter, he tells us to set our hope fully on these things that we're reading now. Because no matter how much grace and blessing that we know in this life, and that we often do know in this life, the curse has conquered this world. It is thorough. It has taken apart. It has had its work in every aspect of creation and humanity. And while this is often veiled to us, it is often very evident to us. And so we have to remember that as much good and joy and blessing and intimacy with God we have now, it is only a taste of what is to come. And so we remember that the work of Christ has accomplished much more for us now, but there is yet much more to come. And so we can set our hope on this with joy and peace, knowing that whatever happens in this life, there is always hope of what is to come, and there will come a day when there will be no more pain and no more suffering and no more sadness, no more separation from God. And what a wonderful day that will be. And so as we come now to the Lord's table, we remember, yes, what he has done for our justification, the wonderful work he has done in bringing us from death to life. But we can also remember the things that are to come in the future when we will be with God. We will have all of our sin finally taken away and everything bad about the curse from this world. And so let this truth draw your heart to the Lord, be a perpetual well of comfort and hope for all that we are enduring now and all that we might endure in the future. And we can give thanks to the Lord now for it.